All right, welcome back everyone to round 4 of the War of '04, and we're now watching our second match. The action is well underway. This time we have Jake Blandina again with this Wailord deck we saw previously, going up against DanZ with his more modern interpretation of Blaziken. We are
Now,
already,
DanZ is a bit of a TCG1 grinder. If you play on TCG1, you have almost certainly seen him around.
and you may have seen this deck. DanZ has very much been refining and honing this list for quite a while. It's this more modern version with these dittos running around. We do see Dan also does play this Corsola we see here in their discard pile. Now, how do we expect a modern Blaziken to match up against this massive 200 HP water type Pokemon, Cara?
In general, this is a situation where I like the classic Blaziken a little bit more. I like having access to that Rayquaza. That said, you might think that this is a bad matchup for Blaziken. I actually think it's favored for Blaziken. Despite that water weakness, which is crucial, the ability to snipe Pokemon off the bench is really big. And also, just Blaziken can hit so hard and spread that damage and really just create problems for Wailord.
Well,
Now,
that
it looks
problem
like
may
it
not
looks
be
like we're
happening now.
well. It is true, but the lack of Fire Sword Blaziken is disconcerting. But we are in a situation where we can have a Volcanic Ash on the active Wailord, and then that benched Wailord is not going to be ready to retaliate, and we potentially have a window to Volcanic Ash that as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Dan can end up getting another Blaziken into play. Now, surely, Kara, this is not another game where we have 3 Torchic in the prizes, right?
I hope not. Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, yes, you can loop these Volcanic Ashes. It will have to start with another Fire
Oh,
Starter
thank God.
Blaziken. There
There's
we
a
go.
Torchic.
Energy draw as well. Okay. So,
Well, if DanZ manually attaches from hand this turn and next, we can have 2 back-to-back Volcanic Ashes. Nope, that's an Energy and Ditto, so that's not going to be happening now.
yeah, interesting choice. I'm curious to see how this goes. Oh, wait. Oh, that was a Fire Starter to Ditto and an attached return to the Blaziken EX. So,
Okay, we did see it then.
Poison Pollen Tails, that would be really nice. I mean,
So we are seeing what the scenario that I talked about. That Wailord is essentially neutralized right now. It is not going to be taking a knockout. Now we're going to see an energy drop onto the other bench Wailord EX via the Mystery Zone, guaranteeing it. But if we have another Volcanic Ash onto that Wailord as well, that Wailord's damage will also be neutralized. And this is why Blaziken has a pretty good time in this matchup. They can just Volcanic Ash anything and outpace the healing potential of the Wailord.
yeah, and
And
I
now,
go ahead.
go ahead.
I think it's also important to note. Not only is this Wailord not knocking out Blaziken, it is literally doing 0 damage.
Yes, it cannot do anything right now. And what I really want to see if I'm DanZ is I want to snipe that Wailord EX on the bench so it is not threatening me, and then I want to take out that Oddish. Because once we're locked out of the Blossom, I think that the Blaziken is going to take over the game.
We'll have to see if there's enough time. This Wailord on the bench is 1 energy away from being fully powered up. And also, Jake has a 3 prize lead. And we'll have to see if Dan has enough time to really pick off these important bench Pokemon with this Volcanic Ash before Jake gets even a single Dwindling Wave onto the CX.
Yeah, Jake has a 3 prize lead, but is he going to take another prize at all in this game? I think if DanZ does a Volcanic Ash this turn, the answer is probably going to be no, and there's the fire. So I think he's going to hit that 3 energy Wailord EX on the bench.
And yeah, if that is the case, then one of these Wailords is doing 10, the other is doing 0. Very interesting dynamic in this matchup. This Volcanic
And
Ash is so powerful.
we're seeing the power of Blaziken at board control. That Volcanic Ash, when in 2004, when Team Magma vs. Team Aqua was new and Blaziken EX exploded onto the scene, people were calling for it to be banned. They felt that Volcanic Ash was so oppressive, and we're getting a taste of that here.
Volcanic Ash has to be unquestionably the strongest attack in the format, right?
I absolutely think so.
Eh,
It's just that 100 damage snipe, especially in this format, is just so backbreaking.
It's absolutely devastating. Even onto a massive EX Pokemon where you're not taking a prize, you're still putting on such immense pressure. And the ability to loop it again with Fire Stream or Firestarter? Ah.
Yep, we're seeing the Blaziken deck almost fully set up, now just running at full effect. And we're seeing why this is probably still the best deck in this format, even a full almost 20 years later. And there it is, the volcanic ash on the other Wailord. Now, that Wailord is potentially at under threat of being knocked out, but even if it's not, it is doing no damage.
Actually, 0 damage.
The other beautiful thing is the other beautiful thing here is that because he's able to snipe the bench, DanZ is going to force Blandina to discard their own claw fossil if they want to bring up a Wailord.
Oh.
Did they make a mistake? It looks like that was a misclick.
I wonder if they're getting cards out of their hand to try to use a Steven's advice.
That could be, yeah. That's a painful Steven's advice. Well, I guess not that painful if those.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? The fossils actually aren't doing anything if you're sniping anyway.
So we're probably going to see the super... Okay, you were 100% right about the Steven's advice. Very, very good. We're going to see the super deep dive, and we see the gloom, which is what they wanted.
Wow.
But that gloom is not safe.
No, not at all.
I think there's a good chance we're going to see a volcanic ash eat that gloom right now.
So another volcanic ash would be a lot. That would require some way to pivot this Blaziken. So what's the best case scenario? I think for Dan, if you have a high pressure system and a switch and a fire energy, you can switch into Torchic, play high pressure system, which gives Torchic free retreat, attach a fire from hand to your Blaziken EX, fire stream onto the Blaziken EX, and then free retreat your Torchic.
We don't even need all that because the Ditto has energy on it. It can just retreat. So we can switch to the Ditto, Firestarter, attach, and retreat. Now we have to see if they have the switch.
Yeah, that's
going to be a big turn.
Energy draw. What you got for us, Delcatty?
Energy draw without the Oracle, so they didn't have it in hand guaranteed.
Very curious if Dan has a supporter. Would you copycat here? Do you think it's worth it?
Here's the high pressure system.
Okay.
And a warp energy.
Oh my gosh. So they discarded to retreat. So it seems unlikely that a volcanic ash is coming now.
What happened here? I'm very confused.
It was a retreat. Discard warp to retreat into Blaziken EX.
Why didn't they just attach the warp?
There wasn't a warp.
Oh, I see. The warp energy is discarded. My bad.
Yeah, so Blaziken EX had 2 warp energy attached to it. Those were those 2 colorless that we
Understood.
saw. And that kind of is one of the downsides of warp energy is, sometimes you just wish they were a fire.
So we are probably going to get a turn of breathing room for Blandina, and that's going to be big if they can get that Blossom into play, because then they can heal a total of 50 damage off of that one Wailord, and then they're threatening a big dwindling wave again. So we might see a swing back in Blandina's favor.
DanZ with the pass. You have to wonder if you're Blandina. Yeah, even if you get a Blossom this turn, surely you have to super deep dive, right?
There's no world where you're not super deep diving here. I think you have to try to get that Wailord ready to attack. And if you get Blossom plus super deep dive, you are feeling pretty okay. What's also interesting is that we have that Vileplume. Oh, okay, we have that Vileplume. We could see a poison onto that Delcatty, and that would shut off energy draw.
Wow, that is a great point, Cara. Let's see. Poison Pollen. It's a heads.
So now that Delcatty has to retreat to use that power. Oh, but a water on the
ATM Rock. Now, I think that negates the poison, right? It does. Wow, There were rare candies on both of the Blazikens.
Oh, that is... that is rough for DanZ, and that is a big tempo swing back for Wailord.
Yeah, so what do you
think,
Cara?
They don't have that Vileplume. I'm sorry, they don't have that Blossom, but wow, they bought themselves time.
Was that worth not using Super Deep Dive this turn? Well, there's a rare candy.
We're gonna see very, very soon if that was worth not using the super deep dive. Now, what's interesting is they didn't rare candy into the one with the energy, which means they don't seem like they're looking to attack this turn. A Fire Stream would be really good this turn if they could pull it off. It doesn't look like they're going for it.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. I wonder if that means there's no Delcatty pivot right now.
Unless you see a lunge. No, okay. A lunge would have been incredible.
We do see that Dan has one rare candy left, so we'll see if these Combuskins can really take them to the next level here. Back to Blandina now.
Now, setting up a third Wailmer.
Could you also consider in this matchup Super Hypno Wave? If you've got some damaged Wailords, that's still a way to deal reasonable damage against this Blaziken deck.
It's certainly something, and the auto sleep is nothing to. Oh! Here is the Blossom.
This game is not over, Cara.
No, this game is not over at all. If that missed Volcanic Ash on that third turn, it was a big difference maker, and now we have that healing engine online. Blandina can heal a potential 50 damage per turn, and we're going to get into a position where a dwindling wave is a big dwindling wave is almost an inevitability.
I think you're sweating here if you're Dan. 9 cards left in deck, 9 cards in hand. The resources are running low. He has not taken a prize card yet, Cara.
He has not taken a prize card. He put a lot of damage on the board, and that was good. But now we are starting to see that damage melt away thanks to that Blossom. And it's so easy to overlook this Poke Power, but Heal Dance being able to just remove 20 damage per turn, that adds up real fast.
Oh, super fast. Especially this this Delcatty has been stranded active for several turns now. The pressure just is not coming through.
Now, what's interesting to me is we're threatening Volcanic Ash. I wonder if we're going to be playing chicken with this Ditto, because this Ditto could dwindling wave for 100.
That would be massive. I do think you set it up for sure if you're Dan. Now, Cara, I don't mean to start alluding to this, but do you think there's a chance that Dan is just so low on energy now that we may have trouble pivoting this Delcatty?
I don't know. There's the Warp Energy.
There it is. Okay.
You said running low on resources, but DanZ has like a quarter of their deck remaining. They have a fair bit of resources left. Like it's hard to underestimate how much gas could potentially be in that deck. And there's the Volcanic Ash onto that Wailord. Now the other Wailord could dwindling wave for 100 after weakness.
Not anymore. Heal Dance heals the other Wailord.
Okay, very very interesting.
Blandina playing the long game. Now, the bench is filling up though, Cara. What's up with this fossil situation? Do you think we'll have enough fossils left to pivot into as we enter the end game?
It's very interesting to think of end game when there's so few prizes that have been taken total. But we are down 6 fossils in discard, I believe.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we're down 6 fossils in discard, another one in play. Now, Colin Mall's list from 2004 ran 10 fossils. 7th fossil hits the discard. We're going to be seeing a super deep dive. So this Wailord is safe from Volcanic Ash, but neither of these Wailord are threatening an attack. And I wonder if it would have been better if you are Blandina to focus on getting one Wailord really low on damage, sacrifice the other Wailord, and then have that dwindling wave follow-up ready to go. So now we have both these Wailords so vulnerable.
I agree with you, Cara. I think that I would probably focus one Wailord to try to be healed as much as possible. Now, yeah, like you said about the fossil situation too, that means we're expecting Jake to have at most 3 to 4 left, and that's assuming he plays more fossils than Colin did.
I'm gonna guess that they're on 10. Blandina has given me no indication that they're running more than they're running more than 10 fossils. That they're running anything other than Colin's list. Honestly,
yeah, this definitely is giving Colin's list for sure. I haven't noticed any deviations yet. Oh boy. Okay, Dan. looking back to his shoes, this Combuskin here has not evolved yet. Oh wait, no, it just evolved from Torchic and Combuskin. Never mind. That's actually very nice.
Yeah, I currently really like the position for DanZ. If they're able to fire off a Volcanic Ash, they can pick off that Blossom, cut off that healing engine, and now they're not at risk if they do so because that Wailord is not threatening any chance of a Dwindling Wave next turn.
We'll have to see. Another Warp Energy. Was that a fourth Warp? Let's check the discard pile. We see 3 in play, 1 on the discard. So that is a 4th Warp Energy from Dan. And he gets the Volcanic Ash. Knocks out the Blossom.
That is huge for Blaziken.
And another Wailord EX is online.
Another Wailord EX is online, but will it ever have a chance to attack? I don't know if we can meaningfully loop super deep dives. We might just be seeing Blaziken taking over. And Poison Pollen heads. That's not nothing.
Even if you could loop the super deep dives, Cara, Jake has fewer cards in deck than Dan. So I don't even think there's a stall game that can be played here. I really wonder if Jake should have not evolved the Wailord and just pulled off a super Hypno Wave.
You know, I definitely think that there's a window for that, especially if they had noticed that there were 4 Warp Energy used. That sleep might have stuck the Blaziken.
Absolutely. And plus, we already have the Poison Heads on top, and those status conditions stack. So we'll have to see here. Going for the super deep dive, running low on fossils, low on hand, low on deck.
Now, you mentioned a stall play. I don't think that Jake is looking to stall at all. I think that they are looking to maneuver themselves to try to be able to take just 2 more big Dwindling Wave knockouts. And you know what? That Wailord EX has 3 energy on it. That other Wailord EX has only 40 damage on it. If that Blaziken EX does not retreat and get out of poison, they'll actually be in range of a Dwindling Wave from the 40 damage Wailord.
You make a great point, Cara. And as we see now, Dan, triple Blaziken on the bench. Might just start seeing a fire stream here. Dan saying, you know what? The fossils are running low. I'm going to start putting some pressure on your bench. Now, because Firestream is doing 10 to the bench, this Wailord with 40 damage will have 50, which means that it will be able to one-shot this Blaziken that will be in the active. What are your thoughts on this play, Cara?
You know, if I had to guess, I would say DanZ is probably not going to be able to loop Volcanic Ash anymore with four warps gone, unless they have like multiple switches as well. So I would guess that they're actually going to be priced into alternating between Volcanic Ash and Firestream as it is. So spreading that damage is not a bad play. You know, get that fossil out of there, put down some pressure, and just make things a little harder. Now,
Ditto comes active.
Interesting. Are they just? Oh, they're just passing. Okay.
It's a pass. Dan says, "I'm going to buy my time and force you to not only have the energy." Now we know that this 40 damage Wailord can just KO this Ditto. There's the 4th energy on the fully fresh Wailord on the bench.
You know, I don't. Are we? We're gonna see. We have to see a super deep dive here. No, it's Dwindling Wave. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Blandina, 2 prizes remain.
Yeah. Forget what I said. The Ditto gives up a prize. We need that prize. So never mind.
Wow. And this is Jake's first prize card taken since we started watching the game.
Yes.
So very, very long time of this.
Jake has created a little bit of a, like, almost a checkmate situation here. Not quite. It's not quite there yet. But, like, that 40 damage Wailord is threatening a Dwindling Wave for 60 before weakness. 0 damage Wailord is obviously threatening to blow up anything. So it's
yeah.
going to be very interesting to see how DanZ responds. It looks like they're probably going to go for Volcanic Ash, but what do they hit? Nope, a Firestream. Okay, Firestream with Volcanic Ash in the chamber.
Okay, so this active Wailord will not be doing much. And, yeah, you...
Oh, a 5th fire on the Blaziken. They're trying to set up back-to-back Volcanic Ash. You love to see it.
Wow. Okay, well, and this is so interesting, Cara, because the only way that Blandina can deal with this active Blaziken is to use the fresh Wailord on the bench. Is that an extension that's worth it?
There's a switch. They're going for it.
Wow. 1 prize remains for Jake, but can he get there? Can he cross that line? Dan, a second town volunteers. That deck is not going to reach 0. Going to put more energy in the deck. Put the Blaziken back in the deck.
So they are now able to neutralize the active Wailord, and both those benched Wailord are also effectively neutralized right now.
And now Dan with his own checkmate. If he Volcanic Ashes the active, another Volcanic Ash will guarantee a KO on either of the Wailords that are heavily damaged.
We are seeing some really, really top play from Jake here, and we are seeing all of the deck building choices that DanZ has made really coming in big.
Combusken, Torchic,
match.
Ditto are the Pokemon that go into the deck. No Blaziken enters the deck for Dan. Curious about that decision. Mystery Zone.
Maybe they're committing to trying to set up another Blaziken EX. I can't imagine, but there's the Volcanic Ash neutralizing the active Wailord. So we could see a super deep dive, but DanZ has the power to snipe whatever he wants. That Volcanic Ash is already powered up. And if DanZ attaches another Fire from hand, there's a chance where they could threaten a third consecutive Volcanic Ash. So when I said before that they were going to have to alternate between Volcanic Ash and Firestream, I was out of my mind. DanZ has it all loaded up. They could Volcanic Ash all day if they wanted to. But regardless, we're seeing a Firestream anyway.
Wow.
This is too much.
Okay.
What a match.
Wait, that's so interesting, though. It's saying, you know what? I'm going to force a Wailord active. Yeah, do 20 damage to me. What are you going to do with 20 damage? Poison Pollen Heads?
So that Firestarter is locked down for now.
Yes, now that's interesting. We know that Dan put some energy back into the deck, and we'll have to see if he can get those manual attaches.
Now I have to imagine that Jake is completely out of fossils.
Yeah,
we have a full 10 in discard. So there's a super deep dive. Oh, promoting another Wailord. We might be in desperation mode if we're Jake now. What looked like a checkmate for Wailord now looks like almost an unwinnable board position. What a turnaround from DanZ.
This is starting to look unwinnable for Jake. Yeah, the best Wailord on the bench with 60 damage. Okay, it's actually a little interesting because this Blaziken in the active, if it does not leave the active, Wailord on the bench, we'll just knock it out. It'll do 40 times 2, which is 80, and with that poison...
the last prize they need.
So this Blaziken must leave. There she goes. Exit stage right, Blaziken. Here comes Volcanic Ash. How many Volcanic Ashes have we seen this game, Cara? 5, 6?
I think at least 50.
This is the 100th Volcanic Ash for DanZ today. Where does it go? It got to be the 160. Yep. There you go.
Yep, there it is, 160. So now there are no attacking options available for Wailord. And
Jake is desperately looking at their deck with Mystery Zone, seeing, do I have any outs possible? Poison Pollen
Heads.
Been hitting today. If only it were a Sudden Flash. Wow.
We have to wonder, is DanZ running that ancient technical machine rock that Jason Klaczynski ran in his build? Because that would be quite the sweep here. But I haven't seen it yet. I have to guess if it's there, it's prized. I don't know if it's there at all.
Yeah, that is a very good question. It would effectively seal the game for Dan. Loading up this Blaziken instead, so I think at this point we're on the manual retreat train. Going to be discarding these energy. All right. Another Fire Stream, and Jake, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, if you were DanZ, you could essentially just stare them down and Fire Stream over and over and over again.
I think you have to pivot into the 170 HP Wailord there. I don't know. Maybe there's not a reason to, but
this is not a position you want to be in when you're playing the Wailord deck. You have 2 Wailord with over 100 damage on them. That is not a comfortable place to be in.
Now you've got a third. And yeah, DanZ is already prepping a Volcanic Ash for next turn.
DanZ is officially in cleanup mode.
Well, okay. Volcanic Ash no longer guaranteed from this poison. Vileplume is hanging on for dear life. Also, I know you said it won't matter, but Jake has one card left in deck.
But there's that Mystery Zone in play as well.
Can you put a Pokemon in with Mystery Zone and fail to get an energy? I thought you couldn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I think doesn't Mystery Zone say you actually search your deck for the energy first and then show the Pokemon and put it back?
Oh, you're right. That might make all the difference.
So,
okay, interesting.
Down to the wire for sure, no matter what happens. Does Dan have the attach for turn? The answer...
We can see a Blaze Kick here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Blaze Kick.
It is a Blaze Kick. It's a Tails, and a Tails return.
Oh,
that Wailord stays alive with 10 HP left, which means it can super deep dive and be within range of a Fire Stream. Oh, I don't know. No cards in deck for... Okay, there's the Copycat.
No, that means nothing changed. I think that's it. Jake concedes to DanZ. Wow, Blaziken. What a back and forth swingy game this was. Both players looked like they had the initiative, and in the end, Cara, like you said from the start, Volcanic Ash.
We just see the incredible board control potential that Blaziken has. Volcanic Ash is the best attack in the format. Blaziken is just a dominant deck.
Wow. Commiserations to Jake there. That was a phenomenally played game. Oddish was the last card in the deck.
Yeah, what a well-played match. That was so great.
That was incredibly exciting. We've had amazing matches on stream today, Cara. Isn't this format so much fun?
You know what? This certainly is a format. One of the formats of all time, even.
That is the hot takes you get to hear here on the War of 04 broadcast. That will conclude our Round 4 coverage. Stay tuned. Round 5 will be coming up very shortly. You do not want to miss the exciting retro action. We'll be back very shortly.